Hi, this is Rupert Reed, reporting on Roll Call 2013. I've done one YouTube battle report before, and this is my second one. This is the first one I've actually done at a tournament. So, firstly, please excuse the slightly blurry photos. It's the first time I've used an iPhone to take the photos, and obviously I need to next time stand a bit more still because quite a few of them are blurry, but hopefully from me explaining them you'll still be able to understand what's going on. Okay, so straight into it. This is actually day two of this on the Sunday. I actually lost the first three games on the Saturday. I played Demons of Chaos, and as most of you will know, the new book has changed what is good in the army. I've been playing Demons for quite a few years, so this is the first time really using the a new style of army. So no bloodletter hordes, etc. So again, I'm still learning, which is I think is why I did not so well on the Saturday. But the two games on the Sunday, which I'm going to do a report on, this is the first one. Did okay, and so anyway, so let's see what happens. So this first game, this is game four. This is versus Peter Maxwell, who's using Lizardmen. We're both, I think we're on about table 17 or something like that out of 22. And he's got quite, under this comp system, he's got quite a powerful list. It's at -7. The more negative the number, the better the army. That modifier is added to or detracted from your score at the end of the tournament. So he's going to be -7 to his victory or his total battle tournament points at the end of Sunday. My army also ranks quite high on as a hard army under this comp. I'm on -6, so -6 army versus a -7 army. So actually, these two armies under this comp should be fairly well balanced against each other. Okay, so anyway, so here's the first picture, and you can see this is the initial setup. My army is nearest to us, so I'll just run through what I've got. So on the left, there's 5 Furies. They're Demons of Nurgle, so they're -1 to hit in combat. Next to those on the right is a block of 26 Plague Bearers with full command. They have the +1 movement banner. And okay, moving in further along, we've got 4 Beasts of Nurgle at the front, and behind those 2 Skull Cannons. Moving further across to the right, you can see there's another unit of 5 Furies with Demons of Nurgle. Behind that, what looks like a wall, sort of a high wall. We're classing as impassable terrain. And behind them, there's a block of 11 Pink Horrors with a musician. And then on the right is another block of 26 Plague Bearers, full command. They have the Lishbone Penance, so they're +1 magic resistance. And then my characters, in the left-hand block of Plague Bearers, there's my General, Herald of Nurgle. He's just got nothing at all. And then in the far right Plague Bearer block, there is you can see at the front on the far left, there's a big, sort of slightly bigger banner. That is the BSB. Again, doesn't have any gifts. And then I have 2 Heralds of Tzeentch, which are both sitting in the pink horror block at the back. They're both level 2 on metal. So the metal wizards, I think I rolled up a Searing Doom for both of them, or default Searing Doom for both of them. And I think one of them has Plague of Rust, and the other one, sorry, I'm not too up on the metal spells, the names. I think it's the Transmutation of Lead, so that's -1 weapon skill, ballistic skill, and -1 armor, something like that. And the pink horror block, they've rolled up Tzeentch's Firestorm. Okay, so then moving on to Peter's army opposite, you can see on the on the right hand side is a block of Saurus. In there is a Death Slan. He's got Purple Sun. I think he's got Curse, the Nif spell, whatever it is, and another Snipe spell, and one other I can't remember the name of or what it is. Next to them on the left is 10 Skinks. And then moving further across onto the left is another block. Sorry, that's a Crocs, Skink Crocs block. And then on the left there is an ancient steg. I don't believe there's no character on that steg. And then to the left of them is the Temple Guard block, and that has a life slan in it, who is the BSB in general. I believe he's got Dwellers, Flesh to Stone, the Thorn spell, and 5+ regen 1, I think. And then on the left of them is another Croc Skink block, and then on the left of them is a Salamander, another 10 Skinks. Okay, so if we move on to the other next photo, you can see again another blurred, unfortunately, photo, but a bit closer up of the left flank from my point of view of Peter's army. And then again, here we are, a slightly better non-blurred photo of his Lizardmen army on the right-hand flank. And then just up to the left here, you can see his scouts, some chameleon skinks, another block of skinks, another unit of skirmishing skinks. They've both got blowpipes, I think. Okay, so here we go. This is, I think I went first, and I didn't really do anything at all apart from move my Furies that were on the left-hand side back behind my rest of the army. So you can see those have moved across. Nothing else there has moved at all. Okay, and then we can see the first moves from Peter's army. I believe in my turn, it doesn't look like I did anything. Looks like I think I fired Zinch's fast on with those skinks at the back on the right. You can see there's one missing, and they actually passed their toughness test from the Warp Flame. I think I only killed one. You can see them at the back, and they've now got regen plus 6 up regen from that. I don't think anything else happened. I think I fired cannons, and from the looks of things, I can't see anything missing there, so they didn't do anything. I think I may have misfired one of them, and he basically didn't roll. I think I rolled a 5 or 6, so he can't fire this turn. So anyway, you can see that Peter's just moved his units forward. And then on his other flank, you can see again everything's moved forwards. And okay, here's another shot of my army from a different angle. Okay, so here we go. I think this is turn 2. So this time you can see I've moved the Furies that were behind the impassable terrain wall back to the back of the field behind with the other Furies. I think the thinking behind this is that I don't really want them to go out at the moment in front of anything, because they'll just get shot at by the skinks and get poisoned off. So I just hold those back for the moment. Okay, so the major thing you can obviously see, you might have already spotted, is that to the nearest of us on the photo, that over half of my Plague Bearers block has disappeared. This is from the Death Slan, who cast a Purple Sun, which, as you will know, does horrific things to Initiative 2 Plague Bearers, so I lost over half the block there, so that's disappointing. So not going so well. I think also you can see there's a dice next to one of the Tzeentch Heralds in the pink horror block, indicating he's lost a wound. I imagine that is from me casting a spell. No, I think that's actually from I think he did Curse of Lenith or something like that, and I lost a wound from that. So quite lucky not to die, so that was quite lucky on my side. And you can see the 2 skull cannons are now aiming at the Death Slan in an attempt to take him down. Okay, so you can see on the right hand side here that the cannons, in retaliation for the Plague Bearer block being taken half off, have cannoned off the Slan out of the unit. So I've been pretty lucky here. He's failed his Lookout Sir roll, and then failed I think he had a ward, so he's failed that, and he's off. So that's already put me up by 300 or 400 points, something like that, so that's good. Also, of note, you can see at the back of the table there, my 2 Fleshhound units, which I should have probably mentioned before, they're ambushing. So they've come on, both on the same turn here, and gone right up behind his skinks on the right hand side and behind his Life Slam Temple Guard block on to the left. You can see that Peter's turned his Slan unit round on the left, life one, to face those flesh hounds. Again, the other units sort of moved up slightly, but I think he's just worried about dealing with these flesh hounds at the moment. You can see the block on the right hand side of Lizardmen. The Lizardmen, which used to have the Death Slan in them, they've also turned around to face those flesh hounds on the right hand side. Okay, and there's another shot showing it from a different angle. You can see the Salamander has moved up on the left-hand side as well to try and get a shot off on the Plague Bearers. Okay, so this is a turn along. You can see, first of all, that the Skull Cannons have turned to face the Salamander. They took him off. I think one missed, and then the other one hit and took him off. So obviously it was well worth. I was a bit worried about. I think the first one hit, and then I didn't wound or something like that, and so I was a bit worried about the other one not having actually anything to do this turn. But it turns out that it was lucky that I did have both of them firing at it, 'cause the second one actually took him off the board. Up on the far right hand side there, you can see that the Fleshhound block has been depleted. They took off the Skinks, but now in combat with that Saurus unit, and they're not going to survive that. But they've taken the Skinks off. They've disrupted that unit on the right hand side, which has allowed me to move my Plague Bearer unit back on my right hand side, with the depleted one back a bit, and hopefully we'll save them. We'll keep them from getting combat with those Saurus. Also, you can see the other Fleshhound unit that was in combat with the Life Slan and the Temple Guard has looks like is dead, and they have turned around back to face my army. So Fleshhounds, they're good. They're quite expensive. They cause disruption. They hold up they've stopped his units there from advancing for a turn. And they've taken out the Skinks. So in this game, okay, I have given up though. They're 198 points each, those units. So I don't know, not really got their points, but have stopped his units from coming towards me, which bide me a bit more time to use my magic and Skull Cannons to slow him down a bit. There you can see from another angle, the unit of Fleshhounds in the middle is gone. There's only 2 Fleshhounds left on the one nearest to us, and they don't survive. Salamander there you can see is gone. That's from the Skull Cannons taking him off, and those Skink units have moved up closer. Okay, so turn further on. Right, so you can see the other Slan now has gone. I think he's cascaded this one. He cascaded one of them. I actually can't remember which one was which. Sorry. But he cascaded one of them, and then the Skull Cannons took the other one out. He failed his lookout sir roll, and it was gone. I think that the Skull Cannons took now looking at this picture, that the Skull Cannons took the life one out, and he cascaded the death one. So I've been pretty lucky there, taking both the Slans out there. His general's gone now, his BSB, and all his magic. So really, I'm in a pretty strong position at this point. I've still got all my army left, minus half that Plague Bearer block. You can see he's brought those Chameleon Skinks in on the left-hand side. They're not really causing much concern. The Plague Bearers will turn to face those, and they'll run off again, I imagine. They're not really doing much damage. So there's only 5 of them there or so not really a problem, and it's all we can get at this point. We've still got probably 2 or 3 turns to play, so I'm hoping that he just stands off and I can sit here and just magic and take off a few other things from my cannons, and I'll take that. That's an okay win for me there. Okay, so here you can see, I think this is turn 5, so he's decided that he is going to actually move up still, even without his Slans, and see if he can just get something with the rest of his units, try and level it up a bit or make the loss not quite as bad. You can see the Croc Skink unit in the middle there, moving up to try and engage the beasts. I'm not really worried about that. The Beast Noble can handle them, no problem. They won't beat them, but they'll stop them from getting any further forward. Also, the Plague Bearer block on the left can probably hold up that the second Crocskull unit that's behind that wood. Not really too worried about those, and he's not going to take the Temple Guard in at the back. They've taken a few Tzeentch's Farstorms and along with some wounds from the flesh hounds, and then basically no longer in the game. So the only worrying thing for me at this point is the Saurus unit on the far right hand side, which, although slightly depleted, is probably good enough still to give the Plague Bearers a run for the money in combat. And I don't want my BSB going down, and preferably not that unit either, because it's going to really level things back up again. Okay, so here we are. This is turn 6. This is right at the end of the game. I think we had an unfortunate incident here with Reign of Chaos, where it was Nurgle units affected on my side, and I rolled a 6 for both units of Furies, and for one of the units of Plague Bearers. So luckily the Furies, see, 3 of them have gone from 1 unit at the back and 2 from the front, so they're still there. So okay, not too bad. The Plague Bearers didn't really affect them. You can also see that I've jumped the BSB out of the Plague Bearer unit on the right, just in case those Plague Bearers do get in combat with those Saurus. It is looking pretty close. I think actually he went for the charge and failed it, so in the end they survived. You can also see that just sort of between the 2 skull cannons, is my general, who I also jumped out, just in case that Crocskull unit on the Crocsskink unit on the left went into the Plague Bearers. They didn't. They actually charged into the Beasts of Nurgle in the end, as you can see from that angle they're at the moment. And the Beasts of Nurgle managed to hold both of those units off. You can actually see the unit they're engaged with to the front at the moment. Okay, I've lost the Beast of Nurgle, and I think there's obviously lost some wounds on one of the others, but they took 11 skinks off in one turn, and then they took 10 skinks off the next turn. The Croxigor didn't fluff their attacks, and those Beasts of Nurgle just prove their worth once again, in that they can just basically hold off against anything so resilient. Okay, so yeah, that's the last photo from this game. So in the end, it was a 16-4 victory to me, which I was pretty pleased with. Basically, it was obviously the 2 slans going down which really won it for me. 1 cascading, that was just luck. Skull cannons, again, fairly lucky there, failing a lookout sir roll, and then me taking it off in 1 shot. It's pretty unfortunate for him. Once his magic's gone, he can't buff his units up and can't really break through my lines and get into the juicy stuff like the pink horrors and so on. So yeah, okay, so a good game for both. We both had a good game. He was just a bit unlucky, and I capitalised on that. And 16-4 victory. Okay. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for listening, and look out for another video coming up shortly. It's me playing Game 5 versus Warren Stevens Orcs. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.